All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to our Thursday morning Inner Circle live session. I'm your host, Ryan Carthage. Hope everybody's having an awesome day. All right. Had some big news come through tomorrow. Benny broke it down. Big news come through yesterday. Benny broke down yesterday. We'll take a look at some articles. And then we'll take a look at some pound pairs to prepare for Bank of England rate statement that is coming through this morning. So, as always, let's turn off all distractions, prepare your minds and your bodies to engage, as you guys always do. And for the courtesy of everybody on the call, please ensure that your mic is muted if you're not actively asking a question or making a comment. All right. So, let's hop over to trading economics. And big news there, right? Stocks fall after the Fed. Stocks around the world on Thursday fell on Thursday after investors digested a more hawkish Federal Reserve stance. Fed raised rates by 75 basis points as expected, and they warned that the final interest rate level would be higher than anticipated, even as a slower pace of increasing could soon be adopted. All right. Major bureaus in Europe lost 1% as U.S. futures pointed to a weak open. Okay, so we got some movement in those dollar pairs, right? We'll take a look at some of those as well. Okay. Bank of England is set to raise its interest rate by 75 basis points to 3% during its November meeting, which would be its largest rate hike since 1989. Pushing borrowing costs to its highest since late 2008. All right, a significant time frame there. It would also mark the 8th consecutive interest rate rise as the central bank tries to push inflation down, which holds at a 40-year high. Okay. While a recession is also underway, policymakers are likely to be divided on the size of the rate hike, some preferring a smaller 50 basis points, some and others an even bigger full percentage point. Officials will also publish new forecasts for the economy and inflation, although outlook remains delicate as the new government is expected to publish a key economic plan on November 17th only. Given the challenging outlook, some investors expect the Bank of England to come in more dovish, right? So that statement afterwards is going to be really, really important. It'll be interesting to see whether they come out at 75 or 50, but that conversation afterwards is going to be key, just as it was yesterday, to listen to the tone of the conversation, okay? So we'll keep our eyes peeled there. It's coming in at 8 o'clock. Global bond sell-off resumes, dollar pushing to the upside, right? Dollar pushing to the upside. So those are the big articles for the day or for the morning. Right, we got the rate statement coming in at 8 o'clock with all of the normal things that follow: policy summary, official bank rate, the votes, and then at 8:30, you got Governor Bailey coming to the microphone to discuss. All right. And then later on today, we got ISM Services PMI for the United States. And then tomorrow, we got our non-farm payroll cycle. All right. So after that Bank of England, we'll see how things respond. And then we have some other things coming out that that'll give us some additional insight, right, on from a Fed standpoint with the PMI, and then tomorrow with the non-farm payroll. And then Governor Bailey speaking. So another big day. So we will get prepared. Any questions from a fundamental perspective? No questions? All righty. Sweet. All right, so let's hop over. We'll take a look at the dollar first, see where it's pushing. We got another bounce off that support, right? And we're rising. So we're coming back into this all-time, before I make that statement, not an all-time high, but a high that we haven't been at in quite some time. Let's say that. Actually, no, we are at an all-time high, right? We are at an all-time high. So that's where we sit, okay? Pushing back to the top, right? So dollar moving to the upside with that news from yesterday. Yes and no, Carol. It depends on the euro pair, right? Because if you look at the euro Swiss, that one's moving to the upside. And the euro CAD, the euro dollar, yes, the euro dollar will move to the downside, right? And with the dollar being the dominant currency there. But not all those euro pairs will move to the downside. Some will, some won't. Yeah. But the pound, so Benny's talked about this quite a bit. The pound benefits from a stronger stock market, right? Pound benefits from a stronger stock market. So when the dollar is increasing, the stock market is decreasing. The stock market is decreasing, you'll likely see a decrease in the pounds as well, right? So there's a correlation there. So moving to the upside, okay? Coming back to those highs, we'll see how the market responds today and then tomorrow, right? But we're pushing to the upside nonetheless. So those dollar pairs, the cross is moving down, the dollar pair is moving to the upside, okay? So that's what it is. So we'll see how we respond at the high, okay? Today and tomorrow. There we go. The other thing about the euro, right? Euro dollar, the DXY is obviously it's the dollar compared to a basket of currencies, but it's heavily weighted by the euro, right? So that's somewhat of the other impact there. Let's say on that euro dollar. So yeah, so that's the dollar. I want to take a look at the pound pairs first, and then we'll come back around to the dollar pairs, okay? Just so we can have all of our charts set up, seeing what we see as we watch how they respond to the rate statement conversation, okay? So here on the daily time frame, pound Aussie, okay? Still sitting in this 80-20 range, right? Not able to break below this weekly level that we've just been hovering at, okay? This level comes from back here, previous support, kind of serving as a previous resistance, kind of serving as support right now. We want to see if we're able to break back below that and start crashing through some of these previous levels, okay? So 80-20 scenario on the daily time frame. We'll see how the market responds to that rate statement, right? Here on the 4, we broke the trend line here. We came back and retested, and we're trying to continue to make these lower highs, right? So we're just hovering right now at that level. So we want to see if we're able to really get a nice push to the downside, okay? Here on the 4, you did get 50% retracement, right? So this speaks to the consolidation that we're in. You got a daily 80-20 scenario, 4-hour. You already got your retracement to play out. Now we're waiting to see, right, how things occur. Do we get another push to the upside and break through, or do we finish down and ultimately potentially take out the A on this 4-hour time frame? Okay, so we got the trend line break. We got a retest of the trend line. We broke that support level on the 4, but we're now back retesting that level. Okay, so coming into the 8 o'clock hour, this pound Aussie is sitting in a key position, right? And we want to see which direction it breaks to. Okay. So that is the pound Aussie. If you go down to the 1, it's still just sideways, right? Still just sideways. So that is what we are waiting to see here. Any questions on the pound Aussie? Joy closed out, waiting to see, no doubt. Cool deal. To the pound CAD. So from a weekly time frame perspective, right? Zoom back and look at this, right? That's our weekly fib. Okay, that's our weekly fib. Fresh AB boundary, but we pushed right back up. We broke below this key weekly support level, right? Served that support here in 2017, came back to that level and we broke through it. And now we're back retesting that level. Okay. We're back retesting that level. So we want to see, are we able to continue to stay below and potentially come back down and either retest the support level or push to this 118 and 127 zone. Okay. So from a weekly standpoint, we're at a key position that we want to see how the market responds to. So as we get down to the daily, we got this 80-20 scenario as well, right? Price pushed into that 118, 127 zone, and we turned over, right? We wanted to see if we closed below this weekly level or if we pushed higher, closed below, right? And now we're pressing down. Okay. Now we're pressing down. So with this rate statement coming in, we want to watch to see, do we get a pullback and a continuation, or is the Bank of England hawkish and does it push this one through the roof? Okay. But we're already pushing to the downside from this 80-20 scenario. So we're in another key position on this pound CAD. Come here to the 4, right? And you see we got a 382 retracement here, but this weekly level was extremely key for us, right? And it's right in that 118, 127 zone. So want to see if we got that trend line break, and we did, and we closed nice bearish candle below that daily support level as well. Got a pullback like we're looking for to retest that level, and then we fell off, right? So it gave us what we're looking for. So now, strong bearish move. We'll see if we start to get a retracement here over the next few hours, right? And then see if we're able to stay below this 4-hour support level, right? You got a 4-hour support sitting here, right? Right at this breakout point, right? So what we'll want to see is, do we get this pullback here? Retest that level that we just broke through, right? And then see if we continue to the downside, like so. Okay. So we'll watch to see this here. So as we get down to the lower time frames, we'll see if we have an opportunity potentially to play a retracement here. We'll see soon as we got that news coming up soon. Okay. So here, right, similar to that 4-hour, you got that 382 push, but we broke back through and we're pushing to the downside here. Okay. Coming down. All right. Beautiful ABCD wave there. Right. If you start to run your sub fibs off the high, right, you see you got a D extension hit. So we could start to see a retracement occur. Great work, Joy. Great work. All right. So we may get a retracement here to come, right? And then we'll see how it responds to the interest rate conversation. Okay. Cool deal. So on this one, right, we drop down to the 5, right? Drop down to the 5. We got a fibs running to the downside, and you see also we got a fresh AB boundary here. Okay. So this is one that we can watch potentially for that retracement to occur. And what I'm looking for more on this one, right, is a high price to get short, right? We know we got that rate statement coming up, so we could get some volatile movement, right? But if we're able to get price to push back into this level, right, push back into, this is that support level, right? A 4-hour support that we looked at. We're able to get price to push back into the zone, right? Be a great opportunity then to look for the potential short opportunity. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for here on the 5. Got a retracement that could be coming now, right? Or, right, could see another push down and then give us that retracement. All right, so keep this one on your radar, right? I know we got news coming up. Prepare for potential high price there. Okay, so we'll watch to see, right? And if it's in your zone, trade it. If it's in your zone, trade it. Okay. There are your trend lines there. Okay. So depending on how you look at it, there's your setup. Okay. Some folks are holding that to the downside, which is beautiful. Great work, right? Could be an opportunity if we get that high price and stay below this daily level, right? Could be a high price to then add to that trade to get short again. Okay. So that's the 5-minute on the pound CAD, right? Overall, bias on this is bearish, right? Looking at a potential short-term pullback and then a continuation down. Okay. At least to that daily level, but we could break through that and ultimately get to that daily 382, potentially lower. Okay. Questions on the pound CAD? No? Okay. 1 second, everybody. All right. That's the pound CAD. Let's go to pound dollar. Already on the run. Already on the run to the downside, right? That's that AB boundary off the daily time frame, right? We had to manually draw that one in. Didn't pop in. Let's see if it pops up now. Let's see. Nope, not yet. All right. That's our AB boundary, right? Got a 236 retracement, right? And we turned over, broke back below these daily levels, and we're falling, right? So next up is this 109, 231. Actually, no, we got one other level here. Support level right here. So next up is this support level 106.07. All right, so we'll watch that for potential retracement to come there, right? But we're pushing to the downside now. Okay, pushing to the downside. Now, if this plays out, got this 118, 127 zone, right? So at some point we could see from a longer term perspective, price come in like this, right? We'll see how things play out over the long term, but that's potential there. Okay. That red line is your, no, that's not. I think I moved that line. What we got here? That's your monthly. Red line is your monthly D extension. Okay. The red line is your monthly D extension that comes in line with that 118, 127 zone. Okay. So your monthly D extension is there. Your weekly D extension is here. All right. So look at this. Monthly D extension just below this low, this all-time low level, right? So we'll see if we break through that and continue down to that 92, 518, right? But that's from a monthly perspective. Okay, so if we go to the weekly and look at the comparison, right? So now this is your zone potentially here, all right? Got a weekly D extension and a monthly D extension in the zone, okay? We'll take this down to our lower time frame. Bang. So on your daily time frame now, right? If price pushes below that level, could push into this 118, 127 zone where we have confluence on your monthly and your weekly time frame, right? Could give us, right, a longer term move, but this could be a powerful zone where we see a retracement, right? This is a long-term play, take a while to get there potentially, but we could see it happen, and then we get a bounce out of that zone, okay? So long-term, this is what I'm looking at if we're able to break through and get back to this 103 level, and then if we're able to break through that, we'll see, right? Got a lot of things happening coming out of England. With new government and new policy, things like that. So we'll see how that impacts the market overall. But at the end of the day, the dollar is strong. The Fed is hawkish. So we could see this continue to press to the downside. Okay. With your waves in between. All right. So that's monthly, weekly, daily. So if we drop to the 4 now, yes.
Before you leave the daily, what changed on your fib? Because we looked at this yesterday where you had initially drew it in.
Yeah, this is the one that I drew in here.
Okay, and when
so we talked about those smaller waves coming off of this high here. This high here. Because this was such a long drawn out move, but that's the fib that you're talking about there.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Because it's coming out the smaller wave right there at the 50.
Yeah. So that's the one you're talking about there. So this one, if you're running those smaller waves to the downside, this fib would look like this. Whoops. Hold on. Let's see. Make sure I got my right spot. Okay. Would look like this. Right. So if you look at it still, right, still puts you in the same zone down here, right, with that monthly D extension.
Right. Okay. Got it. We're on the same page. Thanks.
On the same page. Yes, ma'am. Right. On the same page. Good eye, though. Good eye. All right. So if you run those smaller waves, you got a 618 retracement, matching D extensions down here at that monthly D extension, right? So it's more confluence, right? Multiple sequences, right? Smaller waves, larger waves, multiple time frames, all pointing to this 92,213 level, right? So at some point we could get there. Okay. At some point we could get there. So now as we drop to the 4, right, we take a look at it. So I'm all the way back, pull that cloud off. Right. What do we see? Right. We got an 8-6 retracement, turned over, pressed down, broke trend lines, broke below those daily levels. Right. And what? That 118 level. Right. The matching D extension, right, off an 8-6 retracement is the 118 level, which is here. That's in line with this zone that we marked out, right? So now we got confluence on the 4-hour time frame as well. We could see this thing push for a little bit. Okay, could see it push for a little bit. All right, we'll have some waves that come in. We'll have some consolidation periods and all of that. But this gives us more confidence to say, okay, we could see at least this 101 level potentially, right? This is parity on the pound dollar, right? Could see parity happen, right? Which is also in that zone. See? So we could be headed there. Okay. We could be headed there. So that's the 4. That's the 4. Okay. Turnover pressure to the downside. And we'll see, right? We strong break below this level, right? We could get a pullback to come here. We'll get to the lower time frames and see what we got, but we could get a pullback here to retest, right? Retest that daily level, retest the zone that it broke out, trend line, right? And then see if we get price to turn over. So here on the 1, right? On the 1, you got fibs running to the upside here. Close that out, right? We weren't able to break out to the top to get to that D extension, turned over and we're pressing down. So if we continue pressing down, break through these daily levels, right, we'll take out that A on the 1 and we'll have fibs running off of the high. Like so. Okay. So these sub fibs right now, 618, retracement, matching D extension achieved, pressing down. So we'll get a fresh AB boundary and a pullback. Like that, right? And then we'll see if we get price to turn back over and continuous move to the downside. Okay. So that's on the 1. We get to the 5, right? I'll put the cloud back on in a second. But so here, we didn't get off of this 80-20 from last night, right? We didn't get that push back up to get to that 382, right? Price turned over, pressed to the downside, got to the D extension. But here's a new opportunity here, right? Fresh AB boundary, right? Shallow retracement, push, broke that B boundary. We're starting to turn over here, okay? So here's an opportunity where, right, talk about that retracement that we could see, right? If we get a retracement back into the zone, right? Then we'll look for price to turn over and continue that move to the downside, right? So here's an opportunity for you, right? If you're trading these 5-minute setups, okay? So if we drop the cloud back on, get our confirmations, right? Hasn't broken the cloud on the 5, okay? So if you're waiting on that, continue to be patient, okay? If you use your trend lines.
Right.
Yes.
Hey, I got a question.
Yeah.
I was demoing this and I realized GU has a higher pay percentage,
A higher what?
that it paid more than a couple of other GU pairs, the GBP
Yeah.
pairs.
Yeah. That part I can't really
Gotcha.
speak to, but
Gotcha.
it does.
Okay.
I'll ask Benny if he can break that down, but it does, right? And it is value per pip. I'm not exactly clear on how the math works on that, but we'll get an answer for you.
Okay, good. I was just making sure I wasn't crazy because I'm like, why is this like I was looking at GCAD, it looked like it was pip for pip. I said, but this looked like it got some extra cents on this. What's going on? So
Yeah,
okay, good.
yeah. I'll get an answer for you on that.
Hey,
Okay.
Ryan,
Oh, what's up, bro?
what's going on, man? It's all on pit value, like you said. It is. We had to do a lesson or something on the calculation, but that's what it is. Different pit values.
Different
Okay.
pip value. Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yep.
You doing all right this morning, bro?
Doing pretty good, man. Hanging in there.
Baby girl doing
Hanging in
okay?
Yeah, I think she's gonna be all right. It was rough last night. We put her to bed with some medicine, but
Okay.
I think she'll be fine. She woke up a little all over the place, but I think we'll be good.
No doubt. All right,
Yep.
man.
Appreciate you asking, man.
Hey, no doubt, bro. Good to have you.
Absolutely.
All right. So there's your trend lines to the downside, right? We got a trend line break. Okay. So again, right, you can trade this up. 382 is there. Okay. 382 is 50 pips away. Okay. Place your stop below the low, right? Just shy of a 2-to-1. Okay. All right. If you take it to the 618 TB2, that's 90 pips. Okay. So there's an opportunity there on that on a retracement play, right? If you don't trade those, right, wait for a high price. Wait for a high price, and then we'll look, right, as we come back to the support level, right? Support level there. come back to the 1, right? It's that support level there. Okay. Zoom in, right? Support level there. Okay. We get a nice pullback to that support level. See if we get price to turn over and press down. Okay. So that's the pound dollar. Okay. That's the pound dollar. So we're looking at, right? See the trend here. Short-term potential retracements, right? For potential continuations, right? Obviously, like I said, we'll see how the Bank of England comes in, what their conversation is, but technically, right, from a technical perspective, we're looking at short opportunities, okay? So if you're not in these, wait till after the news, see where price gets pushed, and then see if your rules are met for a short. Now, if price flies and the Bank of England comes in super hawkish, cool, right? We'll have fibs taken out, we'll have direction changes, and then we'll play it from the next level, right? That's it, right? It's all about if-then statements, right? If price does this, then I will do this. If it does this, then I will do this, okay? So that's pound dollar. So that pound yen, it's moving, right? We talked about this yesterday, and somebody had a question about weekly extensions, right? And this, all it is right, the matching D extension off the weekly time frame. So price pushed down, gave us an 8.6 retracement off the weekly, and then pushed to the matching D extension here at 172.012, right? So just push to the matching D extension on the weekly time frame, right? Key level for reversal. So come down here to the daily time frame. Boom, right? That push up didn't quite get us into that 118, 127 zone, right? Broke the B boundary and then turned over. So we're headed down. Next level to watch is 164.851, right? Served as support here. We'll see how it responds here if it serves as support also, okay? But fresh AB boundary, 80-20 scenario, pushing to the downside, 382 here at 161.888, okay? So this one's playing out also as expected, okay? All see like the cycle, right? With the basket, all of them are in similar positions, right? Coming into key report, right? They'll come to the 4. We got a 382, pushed into that 118, 127 zone, couldn't fully get to that D extension, and then we got this breakdown. It's been a strong move to the downside, right? Strong move to the downside. So we want to see, yesterday we're talking about on the short term getting a pullback here. It didn't happen, right? So now we want to see, just like the others, do we get a nice retracement here to give us a high price to then get short? Okay. Are we able to get that? Are we able to get that? Okay. Different scenarios on how that could occur, but we'll see. We'll see, right? So we'll see if that happens off the 4. I don't think we have. No, don't have a fib there. Hold on one second, everybody. All right. So we'll see if we get that pullback there. Okay. Drop to the 1. See this a little more closely, right? We got the cloud break, all of our confirmations there, price pushing to the downside beautifully. Okay. Again, this 1 hour fib not able to break out to the upside, and we're pushing back down. Got a nice trend line break there. Okay. Close that out, clean that up. So now if we run a sub fib off the 1, just to track these to the downside, right? Again, D extension hit, starting to get a pullback to happen. Okay, starting to get a pullback to happen. So we'll see if we get a nice retracement to give us a high price. If you're not in this, then be able to potentially get short if everything presents itself accordingly. Okay, so here if we drop down, this is on the 15. You got a fresh AB boundary, double bottom here. double bottom here, right? And price is already on the move to the upside, right? So just like we were looking for yesterday, right? We didn't get that nice retracement. Price just turned over and pressed down. So cool, it's running. Now we look at this. Can we get price to push into our sweet spot, right? This is what I'm looking for off the 15. I place my stop above the high, right? I want to see price come back into the zone here, all right? Can I get a nice high price? Previous support level, all right? Can we get a high price and then get short? Okay. Can we get a high price and then get short? So that's on the 15. We drop to the 5. Let's see what we got on the 5. Similar deal. Similar deal, right? Double bottom. This one is already on the move to the upside. So this A could get taken out, right? If we get back to that 618 level on the 15. Okay. So we could then have fibs running to the upside. And then we'll see as these waves get forming on the 5-minute chart. We'll see if we have a fresh AB boundary, 80-20 scenario somewhere in this zone, right? To give us an opportunity on the 5 to get short. Right? This one's already on the move to the upside off that double bottom. Okay. So we'll wait for a high price to see what happens there. Okay. Questions on the pound yen? Oh. Yeah, tons of great setups, right? I was just waiting on them to push into your zone. Wait until you push into your zone, right? If you trade those 5 minutes on those retracements, beautiful opportunities, right? Beautiful opportunities. And then we'll see what happens after the news. Okay. Now let's take a look at the pound Swiss. To the daily. This is where we sit. Got a couple things to look at here, right? Capital fib to the downside, 8-6 retracement, right? Beautiful move up. Matching D extension is here, right? If we continue pushing to the downside, 98671. Okay. Quite a ways to, whoops. Got quite a ways to go. All right, 1,500 pips if we make it back down to that level. So, beautiful opportunity off the daily time frame. Bang, we got a trend line break. That's our high point there. 2 candles to the right. We also got a swing high, right? So swing high, trend line break off the daily time frame. Okay. And actually what we can do is we'll take that out. We'll adjust this. This was a previous high. It got broken. So we'll adjust that one up, right? So that's our daily resistance. Now this is where we are. We got our trend line break. We push down, right? Indecision there, but bearish candle here, right? So we got a break. Now we want to see, similar to the others, do we get a pullback, right? Or do we continue breaking down and pushing to the downside? Okay. So we move to the 4. Actually, no, one other thing here on the daily time frame, right? If we run the sub fib to the upside, right? We got some confluence here. Shallow retracement, 118 and 127 zone was right in line with that 8-6 retracement. All right. So we got some confluence there, and we turned over, right? So pressing to the downside there. Okay. Let's pull this out for a second. Drop to the 4. Okay, let's come back. Run the fibs to the downside. Those got taken out, right? So we flip it and run them from the bottom to the top, like so. Okay. So here on the 4, we got that 382. Weren't able to break out to the upside, right? So trend line break at the daily resistance level, right? Trend line break, we're pressing down. So higher time frames control the lower time frames, pressing down to the downside now, right? So again, we want to see if we continue to make these lower highs and lower lows. Okay, see if we're able to stay below this this daily level here. Okay, we broke below it. We're retesting it now. We'll see if any sort of pullback happens. Maybe we get a pullback and then that push to the downside. Okay. As we get to the 1, right? All these are looking similarly, right? 382, not able to get to the D extension, right? Same story. Same story. We didn't get that push to the D extension, but there we are. Okay. So now run a sub fib off the high. And there we are. Right. So here we could also get a retracement to come, right? Already starting to get it. Okay. That's your new AB boundary. So that'll look like this. Okay. So now do we get price to push up into our zone? Right? On this sub fib retracement, do we get price to push into our zone? All right. Get a nice high price. Could be an opportunity to get short if you aren't in this already, right? Understanding that from a higher time frame perspective, we've got an 8-6 retracement and we've got an 80-20 on the sub fib, right? So higher time frame bias is short, right? So when we come back to the 1, now that makes sense, right? Now that makes sense. Do we get that pullback to then get short? You guys follow me on that?
Yeah, nice.
Okay. So we got some nice confluence, multiple time frames that's telling us the same story. Same story, right? So now if we drop down to the 5, all right, we know that's our 15-minute fib. That 5 is already on the run to the upside. Okay, probably looks similar to that pound yen. Actually, no, right? So zoom in on this for a second. Let's see. High here, 144. So it just missed the 382 here, right? 144.98. We got 144.89. So we just missed the D extension. I mean, the 382 here. So some more confluence for us, right? This is our 618 to the A boundary, this box on the 15-minute time frame, right? That 618 level on the 15-minute time frame comes in line with that 382, right? So do we get that pullback, which is already starting to move into that zone, right? And do we get to the 5-minute, right, which is a little bit deeper in that zone? But again, another detail, lower time frame telling us the exact same story. Telling us the exact same story, right? So that's what we're looking for. See if we get price to push up into that zone. See if we get price to push up into that zone, right? And then turn over. Okay. You got your trend line break here. Price is trying to break above that level. Now we'll see, right? If we don't break above that level, then we're going to push down to the D extension. We'll get a new AB boundary on the 5, right? And that's okay too. So this level is going to be key. You see, we're getting some consolidation right now as we're retesting that level, right? But if it stays below, that's okay, right? It'll push to the D extension, okay? Then it'll give us a new fib. And then we'll be able to play the new fib from there, right? Over and over and over again. Same thing. Same thing, right? So that's what we're looking for, right? If we get that push, beautiful. If not, gets to the D extension, look for a new AB boundary, and then we'll look for that retracement. and then potential opportunity to get short if the opportunity presents itself. Okay. You guys follow me there. Any questions on the pound Swiss?
No question on the pair. I just have a quick question around the shorter time frame trading.
Yeah.
Okay. Like when you're trading on the 5, are you watching the 15-minute fib as well? And then in terms of, say, if you're trading on a 15-minute, are you watching the 1-hour fib?
That's going to be based on the rules that you set there, right? And where you're looking to take that trade, right? On these 5-minute setups for me, I'm only looking to take them to the 382 off the 5-minute, right? So one of the things, like, and we've taught this in the past, what you could do if you wanted to, right, is if you want to monitor it off of the 15, you could then just bring your 15-minute fib down to the 5.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right. So you copy that fib,
Mm-hmm.
and now you play your entries and take profit levels off of the 5, but you're watching that 15-minute fib like this. So now you're looking for this.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you could do that if you wanted to. Same thing off the 1-hour time frame, right? You could take that 1 hour, bring it down to the 15, and do the same thing, right? But you're going to want to be consistent whichever way you do it, right? If you're trading off the 5 and you just want to take it to those 5-minute levels, right? By all means, write that in and be consistent in that. If you want to bring that 15-minute fib down to the 5 and play it off of that, be consistent in that as well, right? So just write that into your rules. You can do it either way.
Got it. Thanks.
Yep. You're welcome. Caroline, I'm not sure what you're asking here. The process is the same. They're shorter term trades, yes. You can say it's scalping because it's a shorter time frame, but the process is exactly the same. Yeah, it's just a shorter time frame. So those levels could get hit. Well, will get hit sooner, right? Smaller number of pips because of a shorter time frame. So same process though. Okay. Yeah, it's a beautiful game, Joy. It's a beautiful game, right? We go I still go through that from time to time, right? Where I doubt myself when I don't take a trade, right? Or I'm in it and I take my profits sooner than I plan to. It still happens. You know what I mean? It still happens. And then, you look down and you see it and you're like, oh man, it went where I planned it to go, from a lower time frame and a higher time frame. But at the end of the day, it'll continue to solidify your confidence because you're able to see it, right? And then it's going back and asking those questions of, A, why did I doubt myself? What was I feeling, right? And then write in rules to check those emotions. I'm feeling this, recognize it, and then you go back, okay, I need to check my confirmations, right, to ensure my bias hasn't changed. My bias hasn't changed. This is what I see. What I see overrides what I feel, right? Now, if your bias changed because fundamental data, something got taken out, cool, I see that, right? So now my bias has changed and I can move accordingly.
So scary. What I did was I was clearing up some charts and I was just laughing at myself because I didn't mark this chart up. It was beautiful. And the price action that went through it was too, but I didn't take it. And I was like, man, just, going up, cleaning up my charts. And I'm like, it's just sitting right in front of my face. And I guess just the anxiety of getting it
Yeah.
and not necessarily winning. So what I did for the past couple of days was revert back to the 100 pip challenge. So I feel good for this week because I got 250 and I'm good with that. And I still got some running that I'm just managing. And I guess just getting over that overwhelming feeling that I can't do it.
And so go back and work on that belief, right? Why is that a belief that you have? But it's real.
Yeah.
Right? That process, that feeling is real, right? Because of in the past, how we've trained ourselves, right? And how we've been cultivated. Appreciate you sharing that. We always appreciate your transparency. Because it happens to all of us, right? It happens to all of us. So being able to go through that process of discovery and asking those questions and understanding, oh, this is what I'm thinking, right? And then working to make those changes. It's a beautiful thing, man.
Joy, are you just trading 5 minute charge?
No, I'm trading 4 hours. But
Okay.
and I do something else and I don't want to say it. So I utilize those lower time frames for my key structural parts in the key areas on a 4 hour for entry. So I was doing it on the 15 and I'm still noticing at some point when price keeps going, it will still catch me at the 50% when I thought I was trying to get at the 618. And I was having half, but I was like still halfway into the loss. Like if you was trading Bollinger Bands and got in at the half mark to go down to the bottom, if you understood that. And I'm like, I thought I got in this high enough. And it was just the timing that I chose to work on the charts and it wasn't working. So now I'm trying new timings and stuff. That's it. Just, yeah. So when he was going, when they start going over these 5 minute charts, I was already doing it, but it was like, what am I looking for? And so once Ryan just broke it down, I'm like, there go right there. So you was right. Just don't doubt it. If it just go up, it, hey, it is what it is. And, let it fight another day, as Benny say. So, and I just but it was the feeling of being comfortable saying it and him going over it. Yeah, I had to share real quick. So my bad for taking up time.
I love it. No.
Oh, no. That's super. Thank you.
No apologies, man. No apologies. We appreciate it. Benny says it all the time, right? The community is to make each other better, right? We're still growing too, right? You guys help us to continue to look at things differently, right? So the feedback is beautiful. Okay. Let's take a look real quick at a couple of these dollar pairs before we wrap it up. So this dollar CAD, right? We're getting that push. Right? We talked about it off this 4. We got a spike down with the rate statement yesterday, came back, retested the low, and then took off to the upside, right? So we're headed to this next level, 138,532. Okay. And then we will see, are we able to break that and continue pressing higher to get to that D extension, right? Or do we stay in this range for a little while? We'll see. But we're headed here. This is our next destination. So it's on the move to the upside in a beautiful way. Okay. Drop to the 1. Let's see. Run the fib off the low. Bang. Similar deal. Right? Upside in a beautiful way. So now, right, we come down to the lower time frames to run those fibs to see where price is, to continue playing those waves. All right. And off the low, that one broke down. So we'll come to this low. Bang. Right. Got a shallow retracement here. We didn't get that retracement down, right? We're headed to the D extension. So once we get to that D extension, then we can reevaluate, right? New fib on the 5, then see if we get that pullback, right? To then meet those rules, right? Here didn't quite get there. Didn't quite get there. Okay. Turned over and pushed up. Okay. So we'll see when we get to that D extension, new fib forms on the 5. Okay. But headed here. And then we'll monitor. Okay. Dollar yen, dollar yen, dollar yen. Okay. Hold on one second. All right, dollar yen. So this one would be interesting to see, right? We know the government in Japan is watching these yen crosses, right? This the value of the yen specifically compared to the dollar. We got a shallow retracement. We're hovering in that 118, 127 zone, right? Trying to push back to the upside. Whoops. Hold on. Trying to push back to the upside, right? But we're just hovering sideways right now. Right? Article that we read the other day, they're looking at not only erratic moves in one direction or the other, but they're also looking at being at these extremely low prices for the yen, right? And high prices in this particular pair, dollar yen. So this is going to be interesting to see. We could play around in this range for a little while as the Bank of Japan has their eyes on the potential for intervention for a third time. Okay, so here we are. We push down, pull back a little bit, and now we're just hovering sideways, right? Not the same moves as some of the other dollar pairs yesterday, right? But we did get a wick down, and now we're trying to push to the upside there. Okay, so we come back, drop the fibs in. We got to a 382 on the 4. Matching the extension is here at 154, 378. Okay. So we'll see. We'll see if we're able to push up. If we do get back to these highs, right? And if we get to that 154 level, we'll definitely keep our eyes on the Bank of Japan. Right. And the finance minister, listen to what they're saying about the intervention, right? As they get back to these high levels. So trying to push to the upside now. We'll see if we're able to get there. Okay. Could definitely come back into that zone. Drop to the 1, right? And you see more of the sideways movement there. Okay. No fib there. That one got taken out to the downside. Go back. Whoops. 4. Take that out. Just want to make sure that that fib was right. Let's see. Yep, okay. That got taken out. Take that off. So we got them running to the downside, like so. Okay. So now, right, we just missed the 618 retracement there, right? So we'll see if we get this pushback to the upside, come back into the 618, 786, 86 retracement zone. Okay. If we do, and we stay below this daily resistance level at 151, and we'll look for a short opportunity. Okay. Potentially. All right. If we break above this level, right, we could rise for a little bit, right? But then we could see some sharp movements with the Bank of Japan. Okay. So just be aware of that. If this price continues to rise, we could those intervention talks could spike back up. Okay. That's the dollar yen.
Brian, did
Questions
you
here?
go back
Yes.
on your 4 hour, way back, or 1 hour?
Say that again.
Did you go way back on your 4 hour or the 1 hour?
On the 4.
Yeah, my 4 looks.
Yeah, I brought that from down here.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions on this dollar yen? Joy, you in a long or you in a short?
I'm still in my long. That camper
In
didn't
long.
take me out. Yeah.
Sweet. Good work.
Well,
Good work. Okay. Real quick, dollar Swiss, and then we'll wrap it up there. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. A head and shoulders pattern, right? 618 retracement, head and shoulders pattern, gone. All right. Here's that fib on that harmonic pattern there. You got a 618 retracement, just shy of that D extension, right? Head and shoulder pattern completion. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So now, right, we still got room to go as well, right? So once we get to that level, break through, matching the extension off the 618 retracement is there. And this is on the 4, right? We'll go to the daily in a second. This is on the 4. 618 retracement matching the extension is there. Okay. We bounce back to the daily. And we look at this. Right. Off of our daily fib. But we also got a 50% retracement off of, right? Pattern playing out beautifully to the upside, right? That's the 4 hour. This is the daily where we also had, oops. Whoops, I'll fix that in a second. Right? It's the daily head and shoulder pattern, right? Just shy of a 618 retracement, matching the extension at 107. Okay. Long term could be headed there. Quite a ways away. Got some levels to break through, another 600 pips, but we're headed there. Strong bullish move. We'll see if we get a retracement out of here, come back and retest this monthly level, right? See if we get something like that. Potentially, we'll see. We may not. And then that continuation up. All right, so that's the daily time frame. We looked at the 4. Let's come to the 1. Actually, take that out. I'll take that off for now. Now let's go to the 1. All right. We'll run our fib from here. Boom. And that's it on the 1, similar to the 4. All right. Head and shoulders pattern in there, pushing to the upside, matching the extension at 102, 810. All right. Beautiful break there. We can look on the lower time frames to see if potential pullback could be coming. Right. But that's a strong push. See if we get that retest. All right. Or we could break through, come back and retest that daily level, and then continue moving to the upside. All right. We'll drop down to the 5. We'll map the fibs here. Those got taken out. We'll come here. Boom. So this will be interesting to see. Shallow retracement at 118 and 127 zone. Do we break above to get to the D extension, or do we stay below to give us a pullback? We'll watch this one closely. Wait for all your confirmations on it, but watch it to see if we get a retracement, right? Retracement likely would be just to that, just to this level, right? But that's 76 pips to the downside if we come back and retest that level that we just broke through. So watch closely there, right? Wait for your confirmations. See if we get that. That'd be a nice move to the downside, and then opportunity to potentially get long off the break and retest. Questions on dollar Swiss? No? All right, cool deal. We got news coming in at 8 o'clock, all right? So prepare to watch, see how the markets respond, right? See if your rules are met after all the chaos, all the bouncing back and forth, right? After the rates, after the press conference, see if we get some rules met, okay? See if we get some rules met. Benny, you got anything before we close out, bro?
No, sir, man. Great session as always. It's amazing to see the sequence play out, right? Those longer swings, they take time, but they ultimately play out. Short time frames, 5 minutes, they move a little bit faster, but they ultimately play out. So just continue to be patient and utilize your confirmations and always proper risk management.
My man. Appreciate you, bro. Benny, be back with us tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Asian session to see how everything played out. You guys have a phenomenal Thursday. We'll see you tonight. Peace.
Thank you.